Sandy is an amazing entrepreneur who is the co-founder of Operation Rich Coast and has also been working for over 10 years in marketing along with making films alongside National Geographic. Operation Rich Coast is an organization which unites coastal cleanups while engaging communities on a national level in Costa Rica.
So I'm the co-founder of Operation Rich Coast, which is one of my projects, hot projects. And Operation Rich Coast has been focusing for more than 3 years now on basically uniting all the organizations that are fighting for the same cause against basically the contamination through single-use plastic all over the country of Costa Rica. So we basically facilitate and promote, but of course as well organize cleanups all over the country. In the beginning it was only beach cleanups, and over the years more groups kind of grew out and were born out of Operation Rich Coast, and now it's also river cleanups, urban cleanups of sewers, environmental education, literally everything, you know, that is related to the subject kind of is what I'm promoting.
Amazing, amazing. So how did you get into this? Like, what inspired you to make the action to change?
Right, I believe that's a question we get a lot. I think honestly, the first thing that one needs in order to want to create impact is a love for nature. So before I was always in conservation, but more focused on wildlife conservation. But definitely, this constant contact with nature. Costa Rica is such a magical country. It's so beautiful. And once you start exploring, because it's the first thing you do when you come to Costa Rica, most probably you want to see all these beautiful nature sites. But then once you see also the impact and the garbage that you find along the way, then there is the only thing you want to do is protect and preserve.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you.
It's amazing. So how did you get to Costa Rica? Like, can you tell me a little bit about your story, where you're from?
Right, okay. So, well, now I can't really say I'm a citizen of the earth, more like that. I am German, but I'm not having much left of that. I'm really organized, I guess. But I really left right after, I think you call it high school in English. So as soon as I finished that education, I left. I went to the United States for a year. I learned to speak English. Then I studied, and then literally right after my studies, I was studying marketing, tourism, and business administration. I came to Costa Rica for an internship, and that's basically the beginning of why I'm here. Yeah.
A marketing internship?
Yeah. No, actually not. It was just tourism. Okay. But, you know, doing an internship is always a very nice way to travel cheap, because you get lodging, you get food usually provided, so you can stay in a really beautiful place for a longer time against kind of a work trade environment. Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to an organization that wants to promote themselves more in terms of marketing?
Yeah, well, there's so much nowadays out there, you know, so many people have like problems like having a cause, and they're very humble, but I think nowadays what is really important is that to understand the power of social media and really use that. It's a great tool to connect to like-minded people, to grow your followership, grow your volunteers that you will definitely need. Maybe it's not you that will be doing it because you're more an activist and it's not necessarily something that vibrates, but definitely if you at least use it to start to find someone that can help you. The social media aspect is super important. Why I started Operation Rich Coast is because I was also supporting so many other organizations, and I kind of wanted to do it by myself also and find a cause, and then uniting with someone like Julie, that's the other co-founder, has been just magic. Like when you're in conservation sometimes you just get overwhelmed, and finding someone so driven as she is for a cause that we are both highly passionate about was just amazing. It was just like it's just, as we say, our hashtag is ignite change. So it ignited change, and sometimes it's amazing to just find like-minded people, and so this is where we saw how good it felt to finally be united with some more of like-minded people. And then Operation Rich Coast is focusing on exactly that, on union, because if we stand together, things are just easier. Sometimes you have a low day and I can inspire you to keep going, and the other way around. So ORC focuses a little bit also on this human element, that union makes things just easier, stronger, and makes things flow easier as well, basically.
Amazing. Yeah, uniting. That's what we need is just to unite all these amazing organizations. As we spoke before, there's so many amazing things happening in the world, but we just need the media and the unification of these things to actually really push it forward, get to the tipping point of, now we've shifted the consciousness. It's already happened. It's already happened.
That's right.
So it's just amazing and so inspiring what you have built, and I think it's such a great foundation, and it's like the example for the world, to replicate this and just like expand it 10 times fold. You were talking before about your mission, and like basically tell me a little bit about what you were talking about in your workshop about empowering and inspiring other people to be creative in what they want to share with the world.
Right, exactly. So moving forward, again, I've been in conservation with supporting different causes over many years, and now Operation Which Goes, of course, very specifically focusing on plastics and plastic pollution and pollution in general. However, now leading this one organization for a long time, and also seeing my own personal growth and human growth, I think it's really, really important to understand that we cannot impose onto others to fight the same cause, and also we have to have a lot of not compassion, it's not even compassion, interest and wanting to support the other activists. So because sometimes what happens in conservation or in general with activism is like we say, great, you do great work to pick up plastics, but why are you still eating an egg? So this has happened specifically to me, where I feel let's have compassion. Like we all do the best we can, and we should support each other, on our individual journeys to maybe become vegan, use less plastic, be more conscious about social projects or issues that we have in our local communities. So the idea for me is now moving forward, transcending a little bit my own specific cause, is to empower every individual that joins a volunteer initiative, not just to impose, okay, you're here to do a beach cleanup, so you will be fighting with me now to clean up beaches. No, let's find within you what you are the most passionate about and the way you want to transmit your message, because maybe you come to a beach cleanup, but actually you're really, really interested in education, bringing education to, indigenous communities, or you are interested in self-love empowerment, or you're interested really in becoming a vegan or supporting animal rights. So let's find within you what is the cause that you're most passionate about, and then also the way on how to express it. Just because we have chosen a cause doesn't mean you have to go out there, hold up signs and be a rebel on the street, but maybe you're a musician, maybe you are a painter, and like to express through painting your love for the ocean and share a message, or what else? Yeah, even someone that is a lawyer can write law proposals. Someone that is a doctor can be supporting an initiative because we need medical care in all the beach cleanups or tree planting, and so everyone can be an activist, and that's really what I want to focus on my personal journey, learning as much as I can. I'm super happy to be connected to amazing, inspiring people like Glo. But this year I want to learn about permaculture, and I want to learn about veganism, and there's so much more to learn. And again, the world needs activists and change makers for every single cause that is out there, and we all should be supporting each other.
Yes, it's the only way forward.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online?
Well, super easy. In Instagram on Operation Rich Coast.
And Facebook.
And Facebook as well.
Do you have a website as well? Okay, cool.
We have a website, and I'm making now again because we have fusion with one C, so we will have a new website soon. But we have a website, Instagram, and Facebook.
And so every week you post. Tell me a little bit about the operation.
Yeah. So as said, I'm representing many organizations. So usually they submit all the events that they're hosting to me on a weekly basis, and we are publishing that schedule. What is the idea? To work in union and to showcase basically all the events that are happening in the country, so that whoever wants to join for the very first time a cleanup or support another cleanup or initiative knows exactly where those events are, at what time, and what kind of organization is hosting the event. So yeah, creating more change makers every week, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, what's a piece of advice you can give to an organization that wants to make a change in terms of media or marketing? Like, what do you see that's lacking, and what advice can you offer?
Right. I think sometimes what happens, and I went through this conversation many times when we are activists or working. Sometimes we feel if we do our work and we put it on camera, then that comes from ego, right? And we are fearing this judgment of, well, this person is just holding up that plastic straw against or making this message but really we need to use the power of social media. Operation which goes in this network and everything has really, if it wouldn't have been for social media, I don't think it would have grown that much, created that much impact. We were holding this year the 3rd National Cleanup Day with 1,350 volunteers, and if it wasn't for social media, we would have not had that reach. So I think for all organizations, it's super important to find their own personal fine line to really use to transmit the message, post events, post initiatives, connect to like-minded people, and use the power of social media for those really good reasons. And it's a tool that is literally almost free.
Amazing, yes. And when is National Cleanup Day?
It's the 2nd Saturday of January, so it's literally right after the holidays, which is one of those seasons that are the most impactful on nature in any kind of way and sense. No matter if it's people going into nature, leaving their trash, waste and cars and travel, so impacts the nature so much. So it's very symbolically chosen to be the 2nd Saturday of each January.
Amazing. What are your favorite parts of nature? Like, what inspires you about nature?
Everything. I think it's like the simplest, smallest thing. Like every morning I look at the smallest flower and I'm fascinated by it and how complex everything is and how everything is really connected, right? So I was reading a really beautiful post the other day. Well, actually, I made the post. Then I saw the quote and then I had to make a post because I had to share it, and it's really beautiful how it's said that in nature this entire concept is we really serving, like we're not there to like enjoy our own existence. Like a river doesn't consume its own water, and a tree doesn't eat its fruits, and a flower doesn't share is how do you say is scent, for itself. Everything is connected, the water from the river, is, and the trees are feeding the monkeys, for example, and the scent of the flower is for the bee. So we are part of nature. So ultimately that means we're here to serve as well. We're here as well to give. We're not just here to exist for ourselves as a human species. We're here to give back as well and be part of this ever giving and receiving circle.
Amazing. I love it. I think that's a really good spot to end at. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me and for inspiring the world to change and to be a change maker.
Thank you.